Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Bond Builds. Today I'm going to be making a video on my C7 Audi A6 and why it's not such a bad idea to buy a high mileage German car. First of all, a little bit about the car. This is a C7 Audi A6 with the 3.0 supercharged TFSI engine. So one of the biggest points off the bat why it's worth, or might be worth, getting one of these cars for you is just the looks alone. I feel like they look really mean, aggressive, and also timeless, especially since some of these cars are going back to 2012, 2013, where this design really speaks for itself and definitely doesn't show as much age as most people would think. One of the most important components of a car is the drivetrain, in my opinion. And for this vehicle, this 3-liter supercharged engine is honestly one of the biggest selling points. Excuse my really dirty engine bay. These motors have proven themselves, especially with this one having 148,000, almost 150,000 miles, and it runs like new. Obviously, every vehicle has their common set of issues. These earlier 3.0s like to have the timing chain tensioners, actually, they rattle on cold start, and this is a perfect example of that, but Audi themselves says it won't cause any damage. And this engine, paired with quattro all-wheel drive, creates a really fun driving experience, especially for a car that's more designed for luxury over performance. This car is quite a bargain, especially under the hood, comparatively to other Audi models. As you guys know, Audi fans, that this engine's found in a lot of other S models, S4s, S5s, SQ5s, and the likes from Volkswagen Audi products. And this car, being the entry-level A6 model, the more luxury variant, gets the larger engine, but it shares a lot of similarity to those cars. And in my opinion, one of the best similarities that it doesn't share is the transmission. This comes with the ZF 8-speed, which ZF is known for making some really solid transmissions that last a while. Find them in a bunch of different manufacturers, and all those S cars come with a 7-speed DSG. This car is one more speed, and in my opinion, they're much more reliable. And see, this car has just rolled over 149,000 miles. And in my opinion, mileage is just a number. But it really depends on how well the vehicle was taken care of, especially one of these luxury, very complicated German vehicles. If it wasn't maintained properly, when those miles are going to rack up quick, as well as repair bills. But when it comes to a vehicle that, you've done the proper research, Carfax, all that kind of stuff, to see that it had regular services done to it, they can be quite reliable. And in my 1 month ownership of this car, I haven't had a single issue with it quite yet, and it runs pretty smooth. So now on to the interior of this vehicle. So as most of you guys can tell from some of the B-roll that you saw in the beginning, this isn't an A6 interior. I interior swapped this car and put in this really light gray, it almost looks white, some lighting, S6 interior. That includes the door cards, the seats, the bolsters, the steering wheel, everything. And in my opinion, that made this car night and day. But with this car came stock. I'll insert a picture of what it looked like stock with the black leather interior. It still looked very nice for its time, and it was very comfortable, and nothing wrong with it. I just personally like more of a lighter interior. It's more of a contrast for me, but the comfort is unmatched in one of these cars. And I'm 6'4" almost, and that's my seating position, and I can sit back here, no issues, and have a good amount of leg room. Now, what would be a real luxury car without a proper sound system inside the vehicle? This is no exception. This has a Bose 14-speaker sound system. There's 3 speakers on the dash, 2 mid-range, a center channel. There's a mid-range in the door, a woofer in both front doors, and in both rear doors, there's also a woofer and a tweeter. And on the trunk lid, there's 2 mid-ranges, and then there's also a 12-inch subwoofer sitting right there. So that adds for a really high-end sound quality inside this car, which, to be frank, it should be for an over $60,000 car when this was new. But absolutely, hands down, my favorite feature of the car. It's really clear at high volume, has good bass and all different kinds of music, rock, rap, pop music, whatever you like to listen to. You'll certainly enjoy it a whole lot more with this Bose sound system. Just an added mention here. Look out on the channel for a video of how to buff and paint correct your car. In the next few weeks, I'll probably be coming out with a video for that. As you can see, it may be hard on video, but a lot of this is dirt over here, but there are a bunch of little micro scratches. As you can see, there's one right there. Just, when a car's been on the road for, in this case, almost 150,000 miles, little scratches and scuffs are gonna come about. Like there's a little bit of damage underneath here. but I'll be making a video on how to fix all that and make this car looking brand new again. So another thing I wanted to touch on here is a lot of you guys get worried and scared about the repair costs that may be associated with a car with, in this case, almost 150,000 miles on it, especially being German and have a performance aspect to it and very luxurious. Repair costs, you know, can be pretty pricey. A lot of people think that the dealership is kind of the one way in order to go in order to repair your vehicle, just like this one. But in my case, I do all the work myself on cars, and that saves me a bunch of money, and I'm gonna try to pass along a lot of that knowledge to you guys in order to help you guys out when it comes to repairing these cars. But if you're not able to do repairs yourself on these cars, which I know can be a lot, especially with how complicated they are, with all the features and computers, but definitely make a good relationship with a local small mechanic that you trust, who's not gonna, you know, screw you in any way on, you know, repairs and stuff like that. But the parts can be expensive, especially if you go with OEM parts. But if you find, you know, on websites like Rock Auto, you find some really good aftermarket parts that'll do the same thing and fix the issue that you have, especially when you put not as much money into a vehicle. If I bought this brand new, you know, and spent 60, 70,000 on it, it would be all OEM parts is what I'd want. But when it comes to an older car and you're just trying to keep it on the road and enjoy the really nice features and all that kind of stuff, and also enjoy the depreciation fact of it, definitely going with aftermarket parts is, in my opinion, the way. Now for some of the driving aspects of this car. The car drives very smooth, rides very well, even though this car does have a lift kit on it. It's actually Audi Q5 springs from H&R that have been installed in place of the factory springs. So even with that, it rides very smooth. The handling's great. It's a very quiet car, very, very quiet car. And that's definitely one of the biggest selling points of these cars, just how refined they are, and especially for the price. And who doesn't love the sound of that supercharger? Now for 0 to 60 in the car, I have the car in dynamic mode with the traction control sport. I'm not going to brake torque it, I'm just going to mat the throttle from 0. Ready? Rockets off the line, and there's almost 70 mile an hour. Very impressive for a car that's mostly built for the luxury aspect. If anyone's interested in how the interior swap actually worked and all the things that I had to do in order to make all the functions work, as well as the steering wheel, because my car factory didn't come with a heated steering wheel and didn't come with paddle shifters, and I was able to enable all that. For anyone who's interested, drop a comment down below, and I'll certainly make a video on what went into swapping the interior. But as always, thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.